You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sara J Loureiro.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. And I thought it would be really fun to do an episode all about recommitting to your New Year's goals, because it's been a few months now. And I know that so many people just start off the new year with so many amazing ideas and so much inspiration and motivation. And then as time goes on, a lot of us tend to get really discouraged. And then we tend to be kind of like, okay, well, this didn't happen this month. It didn't happen in January. It didn't happen in February. So, oh my goodness, now I'm not going to hit my goals anymore. And then we tend to really slack because we tend to almost not full on give up, but a lot of the times we do tend to tone down our goals. And I don't think that that's necessarily what we should be doing. If you had goals for this year and if you had something that you really, really wanted and something that you know that you're destined for, you can totally still hit them. And I want to give an example that I think is just so powerful. In 2020, I started out the year being like, I want this to be my first multiple six-figure year. I really want to impact more people. I want to become more visible. I just want to have a full business. I love doing what I do. I just want to work with more people, have a fuller client docket. And in the first 2 months of 2020, in fact, I think it was mainly in January, nothing really went according to plan. And so my initial plan for that year was to just do a whole bunch of lower cost offers, have a lot of people in my lower cost offers, and then eventually have some of them come into my higher cost ones. And what I found was that my community just really wasn't a lower cost offer type community. And at the end of January, I found myself feeling really, really stuck and kind of went into February as well. And at that point in time, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm not going to make my goals. Nothing's going to happen. But because I did a lot of the things that I'm going to talk to you about on the podcast today, I turned everything around. And by March, I was doubling my income. And then by April, I was tripling my income. So really, really good stuff for you. And this is just a reminder that January or February don't have to dictate the rest of your year. And you could even change things around, like the last 6 months, the last month of your year. Success isn't linear. Progress isn't linear. So if you're feeling like you're in a slump right now with your New Year's goals, here are 4 really great ways to recommit to them. So the first thing is to allow yourself to feel your feelings. And I think that this doesn't get done enough. I think I try to say this as much as I possibly can to my community because I think it's just so important. But there seems to be a lot of toxic positivity going around where it's just like you are aware of your feelings. And so especially as coaches, we can be like, okay, yes, I'm aware of my feelings. But then all of a sudden it's just like, no, that feeling's not true. And there's this really big urge to just kind of completely knock off the feeling and just to completely unacknowledge it, being like, nope, that's not the case. I'm just going to throw that to the side because I need to think positive thoughts and I need to be on an upward spiral of thinking. And when we do that, we actually bottle our thoughts deeper into, or bottle our feelings or negative feelings deeper into our bodies, and we're not releasing them. And when we're not releasing them, then they show up in our subconscious. So our conscious brain can be thinking one thing, but then our subconscious is still feeling those bad feelings and really creating action based on those bad feelings. So the very first way to recommit to your New Year's goals is allow yourself to feel the shitty feelings. Because the more that we allow ourselves to feel the crap, the more that we allow ourselves to really feel the negative emotions and all of the unpleasant stuff, the more that we're accepting the way that we are, and the more that we're actually giving ourselves permission to feel, and also the quicker that we can release those emotions, right? So what we resist persists, but if we can accept, and if you can kind of just like waddle in your pity, in your sorrow for, let's say, 5 to 30 minutes. I don't recommend doing anything longer than 30 minutes, but if you can just allow yourself to accept and acknowledge the bad feelings and just like sit with them, Maybe it's the fact that you didn't accomplish as much as you wanted to accomplish, or the thing that you wanted didn't work out, or the client didn't end up signing up and you feel really sad or you feel really frustrated. Just acknowledge it and accept it. Acknowledge and accept the fact that you feel frustrated, you feel stressed out, or whatever it is. And acknowledge and accept the fact that these are totally normal human emotions and you have every right to feel them. Okay? So that's the first thing, is just being aware of and just acknowledge the fact that even if you're listening to this, chances are you know that you need to recommit, which you probably know that you need to recommit because you're aware of the fact that you're having negative emotions as a result of a negative experience with this year so far. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is recommit to your why. And so what I mean by this is clearly you set these goals for a reason. And if your why isn't something that truly lights you up, then we might just need to modify those goals. We might need to say, okay, well, yes, these are goals that I really, really wanted to do. These are things that I really wanted. But now that I kind of look into why I wanted them, it doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't really, this isn't really something that's about my passion. This is just kind of a goal that I set myself. So make sure that your goals are really intentional and that you're really pegged at that why for them, right? So maybe it's to pay off your debt. Maybe it's because you really want to go on that family holiday this year. Maybe it's because you just really want to prove to yourself that your business actually works. And when you recommit to that really, really strong why of why you're doing what you're doing and why you're going to be putting more energy into it, it just allows you to reconnect to the thing that's going to drive you forward and the thing that's going to make you not give up. Because if your why isn't strong enough, you're going to give up because it's not that important to you to begin with. All right. So way number 3 is to acknowledge how you've been dishonest with yourself or how you've potentially been holding yourself back. Now, some things are totally beyond our control. We can totally play the victim and be like, oh, these people didn't sign up, or this one thing didn't happen, or this, my launch didn't go to plan, or I didn't get the time off of work that I really wanted to, whatever it is. Those are things outside of your control. However, when you can look at those things and really ask yourself, have I been being dishonest with myself with why I haven't gotten to these New Year goals? And have I held myself back at all? Where am I being complacent with this? Where have I settled? Is it because you knew that you needed to hire a mentor? Is it because you knew that you didn't fully know the how of everything, yet you wanted to do things on your own? Is it because you knew that you needed to sell more and yet you kind of just took a backseat in your business and you decided not to be very visible? Is it because you knew that you needed to set up Facebook ads and you didn't set them up, right? Where can you be really honest with yourself in terms of what you knew that you needed to do, or now in hindsight knew that you needed to do, but that you held yourself back with? And this is really powerful because this can bring you out of victim mode into a place of empowerment, into a place of, okay, if this is something that I control, perfect. I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of my actions. So therefore, when I recommit to my goals now, I know what I did wrong. I know the things that I need to change, and I am in total control of that change. And when I understand what I'm in control of in terms of that change, things become so much easier because now I know how I'm holding myself back, and I'm not going to hold myself back anymore, right? You're not going to hold yourself back anymore because you're going to go back to number 2, which is recommitting to your why and really taking action from that place. And the last way to really recommit to your goals is doing a leadership and an embodiment check-in for yourself. So what I mean by this is asking yourself, what is the person who's already achieved these goals? So let's say, for example, in December of 2022, or whenever it is that you're giving yourself your deadline for these goals that you want for this year, that I'm already there. If I'm already there, what feelings do I have? What emotions come up? And what did I do in order to get there? What did I do, and who's the person that I have become in order to get there? So let's say, for example, if you were at the end of the year and you just hit 100K, and you know that the version of you who just hit it at 100K for this year is feeling really confident in themselves. They're, like standing up straight. They're going on Facebook Live every day. They are actively asking for the sale. They're investing in themselves and their business. Then you want to be sure that you're doing and acting that way now. That is one of the fastest ways to make sure that you're going to get to your goals. So doing that embodiment check-in in terms of like, okay, I'm ready there. What did I do? What did I overcome? How do I feel and act and do those things now as much as you can is really going to help you understand who it is that you're becoming and how you can start to create those energetic shifts inside yourself so that you're on that road versus being on the road that you were in the past, right? Because making decisions based on your past and present circumstances is going to give you more of your past and present circumstances. But making decisions based on where you want to go is going to put you in that trajectory, is going to put you in the road of, okay, if this is how I am at the end of the year, and this is how I currently feel matches my past, but I want to get into alignment to where I want to go. So I'm going to match my feelings up and match my actions up to where that person is. And you'll start to see how things shift for you, how you shift in terms of what you decide that you want to believe in, how you shift in terms of how you want to show up every single day. And that's going to be vastly different from the person who's non-committing, right? So practice those 4 things. Really set these up for yourself. You can journal around them. That's always really helpful for me. You can talk it out and see how it goes for you. And I promise you, if you really recommit to these 4 things, you're going to find that you're so much more energized for this year. You're going to feel like it's January 1st all over again. So thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time. If you liked this episode, feel free to hit subscribe, give me a 5-star review, and it would mean the world to me if you shared this episode with someone else who you feel really needs it. If you want to connect with me, feel free to follow me at Sara without an H, J Loureiro, Loureiro on Instagram. Drop me a DM and tell me how much you liked this episode. To your continued success. I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarajloureiro.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.